Well, good Monday morning to you. Happy Labor Day to you. This is our usually Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox. The only thing about this morning is this program was pre-recorded at an earlier date. So ourselves and all our crew and everything could have the day off, have Labor Day off. So normally we would take your phone calls, but we're not going to be able to do that today. But if you do have a question regarding today's topic, what you can do is you can still call in next week. We will have an open line Monday, a week later. And you can also email us at jtabor@wlox.com.
So everybody will have a week to think of their questions.
There you go.
Boy, they think some good ones in a week.
There you go. But anyway, this week's topic. Yesterday, I hit a milestone in my life. I hit the big 6-0. So,
and he's still going strong.
Still going strong, and a lot of it has to do with the help of these two wonderful people here, because I've changed my lifestyle, got on some great
supplements and vitamins
and everything, and vitamins and everything, and just of course I keep myself busy. Janine says sometimes I'll keep myself.
He runs himself down actually, but
keep myself a little bit.
I always
too
tell him
busy.
he needs to rest more, because resting is part of anti-aging. If you run yourself down, it does age you faster because you do get stressed.
Well, you've heard of iron poor tired blood, so
that's it.
Although that's kind of a myth. You always hear the people that used to say, "Oh, I got
iron poor tired blood."
Actually, I'm getting tired. I got to have some iron." Where really that's not the truth in most people. I mean, fatigue is not always iron, and you would see all these older people taking a whole bunch of iron, and a lot of people don't need iron as they age. Now, sometimes when you get in the 80s, a lot of times they start getting a little anemic again and start actually needing the iron. But we do see, usually after menopause, women don't need the iron, and men, when they're young, rarely need iron.
Really?
Normally, when they, like she said, when they get a little bit more advanced age, sometimes you just don't absorb as well. Might need it then, but normally no.
Yes, we're going to talk on this show today. Anti-aging, you always have to talk about antioxidants, because antioxidants have been shown to help with the aging process. Iron, if you take too much and don't need it, it is an oxidant. So it is the opposite of an antioxidant. So it can actually damage cells.
Yeah.
When we're talking about being active and everything, how much rest, do you need? And I know it differs the older that you get. It seems like the older that you get, the less sleep that you need, but you still need to rest.
That's the research shows that is not true.
Is it like 7 to 8 hours good sleep a night?
Yes. And one of the problems is
even to 9. They actually have said somewhere between 7 and 9 hours.
One of the things that happens to us is as we mature. Okay, don't like the O word, but as we mature, one of the things that happens, and one reason that when we get a little older that we start sleeping less, is we stop making as much melatonin. In other words, the babies, because they sleep all the time, they have the highest melatonin production. And then as we age, as we go through life, it tends to go down. And when you get, let's say 60, 70 and up in that age group, tend to not make as much, and you don't sleep as much.
And a lot of people as they age say, well, I just don't need as much sleep because I don't sleep as much anymore. Well, that's not true. They've actually found in studies that there's no doubt that you don't get to where you need less sleep. You may sleep less because you can't sleep, but it's not that you need less. And they do find that people that don't sleep enough and well in their older years tend to get dementia easier as well. So it does affect,
tend to age faster.
And you age faster, and it does affect the brain function, and it affects all that. So
you have to. Your body needs time to recover.
It is.
Well, yeah,
your body needs from whatever you do during the day or whatever. It gets to a point where your muscles need time to recover. Your brain function needs time. Your whole body just needs a break.
And think about it, healing is one of the things that helps with aging. And the faster you can heal,
and the only time you heal is when you're asleep.
Yeah.
Right.
So, that's the only time that you actually heal. The healing process takes place at night when we're asleep. During the day, we're too busy fighting off the saber-toothed tigers and all that stuff, So we don't have time to heal, so to speak. But at night when we lie down and go to sleep, that's when our body starts the recovery process from the day before. So, yeah, we need a lot of sleep.
Well, your breathing rate drops, your heart rate drops, and it gives everything time to just kind of work together, and your muscles relax.
Everything.
Because during the day you're tense and everything.
right,
so
you're going.
Is it 7 to 9 hours continuous, or can you because I can tell you right now, we usually go to bed between 8:30 and 9 o'clock at night, and I'll sleep for like a good 4 hours, and then I'll wake up, go to the restroom or whatever, and then it may take me 30 minutes to go back to sleep, but then I'll sleep for another good 3-4 hours.
You know, what's really interesting about that, there was some research that went back, and these researchers were looking at ancient manuscripts and writings, you know, back in the 1700s and so on. And they realized that, yeah, that's kind of how the humans sleep. They might sleep 4 to 5 hours. They'd get up, because there were writings back, you know, in ancient times where people would have, they'd sleep, they'd get up, they'd do something, maybe clean or do a little bit of whatever, you know, around, and then they'd go back to bed and sleep another, you know, 4 or 5 hours. And so it's not necessarily.
There is sleep patterns and sleep cycles, so I don't know that anybody, it's rare for somebody to sleep for 8 or 9 hours without getting up and going to the bathroom or anything. Because you talk to people, and as they age, they're going to have to get up and go to the bathroom, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the ones that can't go back to sleep. It's when they actually may sleep out of that 8 hours. If they only sleep 2 hours, that's probably not good. You know, so I mean, you do need some continuous sleep.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be 8 hours in a stretch.
No,
now, what I find that people don't do well with are a lot of the shift workers that sleep 3 hours here and then they're up for 6 or 7 hours and then 3 hours. They never do very well.
Well, they never have time to recover.
They never actually recover a long enough period. But I mean, just you getting up, going to the bathroom, coming back to bed, you're still laying down, you just takes a few minutes to go back to sleep. That's okay.
Yeah.
Now, the people that come in that gets aggravated are the ones that are up every hour.
Right.
If you're up 30 minutes every hour, you're probably not sleeping real well.
No.
Yeah, you got to start looking at what what's going on in your lifestyle as far as that kicks into your diet.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What you're putting into your body is going to affect, what affects it.
With anti-aging, you always have to talk about diet.
We'll talk about that
yeah.
very soon here, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely on that. So, I mean, we could probably do, a couple of shows on this easily.
That's why we figured we would do the anti-aging show that was taped, and then next week we can actually answer questions. I mean, we'll answer questions on any subject on the open line, but we'll actually, anybody that has any anti-aging questions, because there's so much to anti-aging. There is diet changes. There is, lifestyle. There's how much water you drink. So that's another thing.
I was going to say, that was one of the biggest things right there. I mean, what's in that little magical bottle right there can go so far. And the fact
really does.
I mean, in hydrating your skin.
Especially when it comes to wrinkles. Now, wrinkles, that is part of anti-aging, but, a lot of anti-aging we're going to talk about is actually internal. But external, you can see things like wrinkles.
Yeah.
Now, wrinkles, water. If you talk to a lot of people that don't have wrinkles and you ask them what they've done for so many years, almost all of them will say they drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
Stay hydrated.
Right.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. This is our special Labor Day edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. And welcome back to our special Labor Day edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition, located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. This program today was recorded at an earlier date, and we will be back live next Monday. That way you can call in on our open line Monday and follow up with some questions regarding today's topic, which is on anti-aging, or about anything exactly that you want to. And of course, they are closed at the office today and be back in tomorrow.
Yes,
right. That's right.
So anyway, we're talking about anti-aging and the importance of water, for one thing.
Yeah.
Drinking a good bit of water keeps your skin hydrated and everything. It doesn't let it dry out or anything. But there's a lot of other things that you need to consider too, and a lot of it has to do with dieting. And we talk about diet with so many different things in your life, and people eat different things they eat, drink, or whatever. Is going to have a lot to do with
and people think going on a diet, we're not really talking, we're just talking about what you eat, because even thin people need to watch their diet. I mean, it actually is watch what you put in your body. So it's not just about weight loss. It's about health, it's about anti-aging, it's about feeling good and keeping disease down.
A high sodium diet would probably not that good for you.
It's not.
I mean, because
if
it's salt in it.
Well, if it's overdone, anything like that.
Actually, most people we see with like high sodium tend to eat a packaged processed foods. And that's actually, if you're eating real foods, you can put a little salt and you don't tend to get too much sodium in most cases. You can't say in all cases. In most cases, if you don't have a medical problem that doesn't allow you to get rid of sodium. But you see people with a high processed food diet, and everything is boxed and packaged and canned. You see a lot of people with high sodium, and that's not good. But again, we've always said it's not good to eat packaged processed foods.
Yeah, it's true. And one of the big things is, along with that sodium, in a lot of these packaged processed foods, is sugar. And right now they use about 60 different names to hide sugar. So you can't just look at the package and say, oh, okay, it doesn't have sugar in it. Well, but if it's got things like, invert and sugar and invert, fructose, or if it's got
fructose,
corn
syrup,
and corn syrup, and they put all kind of 60 different names that they use for it to hide it, so to speak. So packaged processed foods, we're going to tell you that they should be out. So there goes your, TV dinners and so on. Not good for us as we get older.
I had somebody last week, it was kind of funny because they didn't know what to think when I said it. They asked me, well, when I look at a food, how many sugars should I keep it under? I said, well, you shouldn't be looking for that. And they're like, what? And I said, if you eat the right food, it don't actually have a label on it. If you think about it, your meat don't tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
Because it's just the meat.
Chicken or beef or
if it's a vegetable, it don't have a label on it. If it's fruit, it don't have a label on it. I was like, most of the things that you look for don't have labels. The real food don't have labels. And they were like, at first they were like, what? And I said, if they think about it, if you eat real food, you don't have a label. And they're like, well, I guess so.
And the label Chiquita does not count.
That's true.
Yeah. But it really doesn't. It doesn't have your supplement facts on a real food.
Right.
Now, nuts do. Now, nuts do actually have your supplement facts, and they should be low in sugar. Of course, if you look at nuts, if they have a bunch of added sugar, you don't want those because nuts naturally don't have a lot of sugar.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the sugar is probably one of the biggest things that ages us faster. Now, there's one of the big researchers in this. His name is Dr. Bob Lustig. He's out at University of California, San Francisco. And, his thing is about glycation. And of course, if you've been to the doc and they've done your hemoglobin A1C, you're looking at your glycation index, basically, how much glycation you have going on in your body. And the higher it goes, the more sugar exposure and so on. And, like Dr. Lustig said at one of his lectures, we have a choice. Glycation, for instance, if you've ever baked a cake, you see that the batter is kind of a yellowy looking batter. You stick it in the oven, 350 degrees for 30 minutes or so, it comes out nice golden brown. That's glycation, okay? Now we can glycate, because our body glycates the same way. The hemoglobin A1C is a glycation index. We can either glycate at 350 degrees for 30 minutes or at 98.6 degrees for 25, 30 years, because it does the same thing. That glycation process is going on all the time. And our regular body temperature, it's a slower process, gives you the same effect. It's actually the browning.
And it damages cells.
And it damages cells. And there's the big thing they're watching now, and it's something that came out in the research probably within the past year and a half or so. It's called methylglyoxal. And they made a big splash when it first came out about it, but as to, this stuff is really it sets up what they call the advanced glycation end products, or AGES. And it does age you faster, no doubt. And they looked at this and they said, well, wait a minute, that's just a byproduct, if you will, of fructose metabolism. And okay, a lot of people say, well, I don't do the high fructose corn syrup. Anything that you eat that tastes sweet has got fructose in it. Table sugar, 50% glucose, 50% fructose. Fructose is sweet, glucose is not. So what tastes sweet, that apple, that peach, or whatever, it has fructose in it. And
so overdoing anything with a sweet taste is not good. Even fruit. If you overdo fruit, when somebody sits down and eats 6 pieces of fruit, they're getting a lot of sugar. So you just have to watch what
I just recently had a lady come in and she was talking about her diet, and she said, I can't lose weight, and she said, I've got a really good diet. And so we went through the diet, and I said, okay, something's going on. And I mentioned, the normal, usual suspects, the bread, the rice, the pasta, the potatoes. I don't eat those. Don't do it. Got to the fruit. She said, fruit? Oh, my God.
Eat it all day.
She said, I eat fruit 3 times a day. I said, how much? Well, a couple of servings, like 2 or 3 servings at breakfast, 2 or 3 servings and snacks thrown in those. I said, okay, fruit might be your problem.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
And a lot of people, we don't say no fruit, but the sugar fruits. Actually, tomatoes are fruit, squash is a fruit, avocados are a fruit.
Anything's got seeds on the inside.
Anything with a seed on the inside is technically a fruit. Those are okay. There's actually the low sugar, the low fructose fruits are okay. It's what people think of as fruit, though, are the sweet fruits. And that's what people eat too much of.
What about apples, oranges?
Apples are one of the better choices.
They still have some.
Apples and berries, when it comes to the sweet fruit that you think of, apples and berries are your best choices.
Well, I know they always say blueberries are good for you.
Yes. And they are high. Blueberries, one of the anti-aging, berries are good. People eat too much. I mean, you don't want a bowl this big. I mean, you don't. You actually have to be, portion sizes of fruit are about a half a cup. I mean, every one of them have a little bit different portion size. And even watermelon, a portion size is about a half of a cup.
Now,
so
try eating a portion of watermelon.
Exactly. So people eat way too much
It's like
at a
half
time.
a watermelon.
Yeah, that's it.
But you do want your berries and stuff for anti-aging. So you do. We're not saying don't eat berries.
Right.
And berries and apples are your best choices. The higher sugar fruits are your raisins. Dried fruit is not probably good. I mean, once it's dried, it really is high in sugar. So your dried fruits are actually worse than normal fruit.
If you eat whole fruit, like a whole apple, you mentioned apple. Apple has pectin and other fibers in it that really are very beneficial for you.
Right.
And so, when you eat the whole fruit, that's really good for you. It's when one of the things that even some of the research is coming out now, people say, well, I don't drink sodas. Okay, cool. That's a good thing because there's a lot of sugar there. But, for breakfast, I have 8 ounces of orange juice. Might as well drink a soda.
Root beer,
I mean, go get you something you like better.
And even pears are really good. They have a lot of fiber, and there's even some research where it may prevent diabetes because of the amount of fiber that's in it. And it's not as high of a sugar fruit as some of the other fruits. So pears are actually good, and right now we have an abundance of them. Our trees are loaded, but like I said, that is one thing that you can do, and it's not as high in the sugar.
Right.
Okay. All right. This is our special Labor Day edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. We'll be back with our final break in just a moment. And welcome back to our special Labor Day edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition on Callan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. They are closed today, but they will be back open tomorrow for you if you'd stop by and talk to them about anything that ails you. There's no appointment needed, and consultation is always free. So we're talking about anti-aging today, and this program was pre-recorded at an earlier date. But we're talking about things that you can do when you get up there in life. I don't want to say up there as you more. Thank you.
Actually, you're better off doing it when you're young, because when you're young, it keeps you from aging. Once you've aged, to reverse it is harder. So I do say, actually, it's not for the people that are getting up in age only. It's also
start early
for the young people.
Start looking like some of those actors that
that's right. Start young.
Gotten to. Went to the wrong doctor.
Some of them get a little carried away with the
That's not
surgery.
That's not necessarily anti-aging. That is actually just altering.
Exactly.
But we're talking about trying to stay healthy and stay where you don't age as fast. And there is something called telomeres. I mean, there's so much research going on right now because they're finding more and more things that they can. Yeah, and the telomeres are the little ends of your chromosomes, and they find as they shorten, you age.
Or as we age, they shorten.
Well, right, but yeah,
Either way.
exactly, either way. But they've even found younger people that have aged really fast have shorter telomeres. So even if you're younger and you're aging really fast, it's probably because those telomeres are shortening. Now, a lot of things shorten telomeres, and there's a lot of supplements that can keep the telomeres from shortening.
Okay.
So that's kind of like you have to look at it both ways.
Yeah, a lot of your antioxidants help with that. And we've got a special product. Matter of fact, it's going to be one of our specials this week, and it's called Telomere Pro. It's actually an extract, and I'm sure a lot of the people that listen have probably read about things like astragalus.
And there it
is, Telomere Pro.
Telomere Pro, right. And Telomere Pro is a specific extract of the astragalus plant.
Astragalosides 4.
Yeah, astragaloside 4, and turns into something called cycloastragaloside. Just to get a little technical there, but what it does is it.
Hey, as long as it works.
Hey, as long as it works.
Get technical all you want to.
But the Telomere Pro actually, and research has shown that it actually slows down and can actually stop and even reverse. Lengthen some of those telomeres. So that's
really.
Oh yeah, so it's really good stuff to take. It's not cheap, but it's good.
Yeah, it's not the cheapest product, but it is good.
Now
the resveratrol is something that there's so much research, and it's been shown to do the same with telomeres. It also helps with the telomeres. But resveratrol is not a real expensive product. It is. It's what you find in red wine, which is why they say red wine is actually good for you. But it takes about 90 bottles of red wine to equal what we got in the capsules.
Whoa.
So
okay,
I don't
so
suggest.
It's gonna be a long afternoon,
I don't suggest 90 bottles, but so resveratrol is something a lot of people have heard of, and it's considered to be anti-aging, but it also helps with so many other health benefits.
It really does. And all joking aside about your red wine. A glass or two, and we're talking about small glass. No, not, if you watch that one show where the girl had a gobbler about that big, that it was huge. That was one glass of wine. It was like a bottle, But just a normal small glass of red wine, like 1 or 2 of those a day, actually helps because you get a small amount of alcohol, and a small amount of alcohol has actually been shown to help too.
Because it does thin the blood.
It thins the blood and so on, which as we get more mature, we tend to want to thicken up our blood and everything, so we got a lot of problems going on there. And you get your resveratrol.
Right.
So, you know, okay, a little red wine, but now not the white wines, not the sweets.
No.
Those got sugar in them.
It takes the dark
and
red
over
wine.
drinking alcohol ages
Yes.
you. So
Right.
I mean, we're not saying go out and drink all you can and it's anti-aging, because it's not true. You want a little bit of red wine has been shown to be anti-aging.
Moderation.
Now, other things that have been shown to be anti-aging: fish oil.
Yes.
And it actually is very hydrating for the skin. It actually is very good for inflammation. If you look at another thing that ages you quickly is inflammation. Inflammatory processes do tend to age.
Pretty much all diseases are some sort of
inflammatory process. Fish oil is a great anti-inflammatory. Another one that's been shown to be very anti-aging is curcumins.
Yeah, you're
So it's another one that has a lot of anti-aging research going on. I mean, there's so many supplements that have been shown to be anti-aging. Your vitamin C, your vitamin E.
C by itself.
They've actually found selenium. They've all been shown to have some anti-aging effects. That's why I even a multivitamin that has your C and the E and the selenium and getting all the nutrients that you need, and even vitamin D can help with aging. But the ones that are probably known more for the telomeres are more like your Telomere Pro or something like resveratrol.
Right.
And the anti-inflammatory things like your fish oil and turmeric. So there's so many things that you can do. And at the same time, a lot of those are beneficial for other problems as well. It's not just anti-aging. If you slow your aging process, you're probably also going to slow some of the disease process, because people tend to get more problems as they age.
Yeah. You know, I mean, your system kind of slows down, and it's a little bit harder for it to fight things off.
Well, the whole thing, immune system goes down as you age. So, I mean, they do know that. So if you actually keep your immune system up, it actually can keep you from getting as sick. There's not been as much on the the astragalosides. We should say that. The Telomere Pro is known to increase the immune system. So it is anti-aging. It, helps the telomeres, but at the same time, it can actually help with that too. So
astragalus has been used in immune support and so on for
a
years,
long time.
for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, who knows, but for a long time. So it's an extremely good,
for that reason, people with organ transplants that are on immunosuppressants cannot take Telomere Pro.
Right.
Again, there's so many things that if you've had an organ transplant you can't take, because if you actually boost the immune system at all, it can actually be detrimental to you if you have an organ transplant. But it does show you that it does increase the immune system because you can't take it. If you've had that problem.
Right.
And there's a lot of other simple things that you can do to slow down the aging process, especially looking at the outside of you. When you're outside in the sun, sunscreen.
Right.
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen is so important.
And even your skin moisturizers, your creams and lotions and stuff, lotions and potions as we call it. Okay, they're really good for you because we want to, like you mentioned, the hydrate from the inside.
People always ask, do they really work? And I always say, they are if you start them early enough. Now, I mean, I don't know if there's any magic cream that you never get a wrinkle in your life. I mean, I don't think that I've never seen one like that.
Exactly.
There you go.
But I do say the younger you start, the better it is, because when you have people come in that have really deep wrinkles already, those creams are probably not going to make a big difference.
No, because that collagen, that underlying collagen in that skin's already damaged, and it's a little too late.
When you start talking about external aging, collagen makes a big difference.
Yeah.
We do have collagen products that a lot of people do for wrinkles, and it makes a big difference, especially if you start early enough. And collagen's also good for the hair and the nails, and there's so many joints, and so there's so many things that collagen's good for. So there's so much with anti-aging. That's why we figured we'd do this show and then answer questions next week, because you could probably talk about this subject for a long time.
Okay.
We could.
So we will be back next week for our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. As a matter of fact, next week will be our open line Monday. So whatever you do today, please be safe with it. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Labor Day. We'll see you next week.